Hey everyone, welcome back to Tech IVP channel. Today I am going to share with you some commonly asked interview question, and this question really helps you to crack the interview. But before we dive in, please like, share and comment your thoughts in the comment box, and also subscribe the channel to get more updated videos. And I will be preparing these videos for you, so this is really motivating me. So let's start guys. So first question is about the automation basic. So automation basic, in this we have to discuss about the basic questions about the automation. So first question is, what is the difference between manual and automation testing? Manual testing involves executing test case manually without using any tools or scripts. While in the automation testing, we use tools and the scripts like Selenium, Cypress, Catalan Studio, etc. And in the automation is faster, more accurate and ideal for the repetitive task where we have to perform the regression testing. While manual testing is best for the ad hoc testing, exploratory testing and usability testing. Okay. So next question, why is the automation testing necessary in the software development lifecycle? So automation testing plays a very crucial role to save your time, improve accuracy, ensure test coverage, and is cost effective for the regression testing. It helps in detecting bugs early in the development process and support continuous integration and delivery. Third question, what are the challenges you faced in the automation testing and how did you overcome? So guys, these question is mostly asked by the senior person who have already experienced about the 5 years of experience. So they know the challenges when they are performing automation on the web portal or the mobile application or in the REST assured APIs. So these are challenges. So right now here I am going to discuss some basic challenges as a QA engineer, as a automation test engineer you faced. So first challenge, dynamic web element, and its solution is use dynamic locator XPath with contains or starts. Okay. Next challenge, test maintenance due to frequently UI changes. Once UI changes is frequently done by the developer, that time it's really a tedious task for a QA automation engineer to handle the challenges. Okay. And its solution, we have to adopt the page object model to isolate locator from test logic. So I hope guys you are aware about the POM. POM is a page object model. It is a design pattern in which we have to develop a automation framework. In next question I will discuss with you about the POM. And the third challenge is flaky test. Flaky tests are those tests which are sometime passed, sometime fails. So to handle these type of test cases, we use explicit weight, optimized script and improved test environment stability. Fourth question, how do you decide which test case to automate? So in that case you have to answer, you have to prioritize automatic, repetitive, high risk and critical test cases. Tests with the large dataset, multi-platform, compatibility or those prone to the human error and also automated. In layman language, if I suggest you, then you have to answer this one. Firstly, you have to prioritize your test cases which are highly risk based and highly critical, and in which we have to use a large set of data and continuously in repetitive way you have to run the automation script or you have to done the manual efforts. Okay. Next question from the Selenium section. So Selenium is a really common tool. So first question is, I hope all of you are aware if you have done automation testing. So what are different types of locator in Selenium? So we have 8 types of locator. First one is ID, second one is name, third one is class name, fourth one is tag name, fifth one is link text, sixth one partial link text, and then CSS selector, XPath. XPath have again two category, absolute and relative path. Absolute XPath is followed by the single forward slash, and relative XPath is followed by the double forward slash. Okay. Next question, explain the difference between find element and find elements. So find element return the first matching element once you have to work with a single element. Suppose you want to click on the submit button, that time you have to use a find element method. But if you get multiple web element, then you have to use find elements, and find elements is used in case of once you have to find the broken links and count the how many numbers of link on the web page. In that case you have to use find elements. Third question from the Selenium side, how would you handle dynamic element in the Selenium? So dynamic element we can handle using the XPath. I was already explained you XPath have two types, absolute and relative. So here we have to answer using the relative XPath, and in the relative XPath we have to use the words contains and start. So here is the example, you see here contains attribute and its value. ID is attribute here, and dynamic part is a value of this web element. Fourth question, what is the page object model, how you implemented it in your project? Well, POM is a page object model, is a design pattern that creates an object repository for the web element. It separates the test logic from the element locator, and you have to answer I have implemented POM by creating separate class for each web page and using those classes in the test script. In that case you have to create a separate class for the login, sign up, add to cart or XYZ web page, and you have to separate your locators from this class. Okay, this is really very helpful once you have frequently changes done in the website. That time POM is really helpful for you. So this one is an example. See here, I have created a class with the name of login, and here I am using a at find by annotation, and I have store here locator and its value. ID is a locator, ID is attribute, and its value is username. Okay, after that I will reuse this in the once I am creating the test case, what exactly username I have to pass, what exactly the password I have to pass, and after that I have to click on the login button. Next question, how do you handle alert, pop-ups and frame in Selenium? So most of the time this interview question is asked, and first we have to come with the alert. In the alert case we use driver.switch to .alert method. Alert is a class in the Selenium, and see below in the image you see here alert equals to driver.switch to .alert, and alert have different methods. First one is accept, second one is dismiss, and if you want to send something then you can use send keys. Okay, next one is pop-up. So pop-up will be handled using the window handles. So in this case we are using window handles to handle the pop-up. Okay, so this one is an example, string main window equals to driver dot get window handle. So here we are using get window handle method, and after that you see here we are using set string all windows equals to driver dot get window handles. So why we are using set here? Actually set use a hash code which not store duplicate element, that's why we are using here set. And after that we have to provide the for loop, it's a for each loop, and after that we have to provide a if condition. If we found main window is not equals to the current window, then we have to switch XYZ window on the next window or the last window. After that, frame. So we have to handle the frame by using the again method switch to, and its syntax is driver dot switch to dot frame. So see below, there is an example I have already shown you. Firstly, switch to frame by the name or id, what exactly you get the name or id, what exactly locator you getting. After that, you have to switch the frame using the index value. After that, you have to use index value, and then switch to the frame by web element. Web element is an interface in the Selenium. Okay, so web element, here I am presenting frame element driver dot find element by id and the frame id. Frame id you have to capture xyz, it's abcd or frame 123. After that, you have to use driver dot find by dot id and button, and then click on the specific frame, and then you have to use again method driver dot switch to dot default content. Next question, how do you capture screenshot during the test execution in Selenium? So for the test for the screenshot, we are using interface is called take screenshot. Take screenshot is an interface in the Selenium, and here we are creating a reference name screenshot, and after that we have to cast it with the driver. Driver is our web driver reference name. Okay, so here I am presenting you. Firstly, you have to cast your take screenshot interface and create a reference name like screenshot. After that, you have to use a file class and provide the output file. Okay, and in the take screenshot there is a one more method which is called dot get screenshot as. After that, you have to copy this screenshot from the source and provide the destination path where you want to store and its format. Okay, next question, what are write a Selenium script to automate login functionality. So hope all of you guys are aware about this one. So for this one, we have to firstly initialize our WebDriver, then we have to navigate to the Chrome browser or XYZ browser, and then navigate to the web page using the method. You can use navigate or get method. After that, you have to click on the element and use send key, and type username, also fill password in the next field, and then click on the login button. And if you want to match the title, then you have to use string page title equal to driver.getTitle. Driver.getTitle is used to get your fetch your title from the web page, and if this title is not matched, then test cases pass, else it is failed, and then you have to quit the your execution. So hope guys these questions really helpful you. So next pointer is our TestNG JUnit. So TestNG is a framework which is widely used in the automation to build your test scripts and maintain your test execution. So first question, what are the advantage of using TestNG or JUnit in the test automation? So TestNG is a next version of the JUnit. So TestNG provides better annotations, test configuration and parallel execution, while JUnit is a lightweight and integrated well with the Java based framework. So below see in the image, I have just sharing with you some commonly highlighted difference in TestNG and JUnit. So first one is parallel execution. So parallel execution in the TestNG is possible, but in the JUnit it's limited support. So in that case you have to use the extension. Grouping is supported in the TestNG, not in the JUnit. Parameterization, in the TestNG parameterization is possible using the data provider annotation, but in the JUnit you have to use @parameterized test, and this one we used in the JUnit 5. Next one, reporting. So in the TestNG, built-in reporting mechanism, built-in HTML and XML report mechanism, but in the JUnit you require external libraries. Next one, dependency management. So depend on, it has two techniques. First one is depend on methods and depend on groups, but in the JUnit it's not supported. Depend on methods and depend on groups I will show you in the next question or next tutorial. Okay, next question, how do you implement parallel test execution in TestNG? So we have to implement parallel test execution. In that case we use TestNG XML file and we provide parallel method in the test suite. So after that you have to execute this one. Third question, explain annotation used in the TestNG. So first annotation is before suite, second before test, third before class, fourth before method, and then test. Then after method, after class, after test, and after suite. In next tutorial I will show you how these annotations are working. Okay, so please subscribe to get updated video about this one. Next question, how do you manage dependency in TestNG? So we have two mechanisms to manage the dependency. We can use depend on methods, or we can use depends on group attribute in the test annotation. So see in the below example, we are using here annotation @test and provide attributes depends on methods equals to setup. So this methods, this one method means the method one public void test login is depends on the method void setup. This one method is depends on this method. After that @test depends on method test login, and this method is depends on this method. So it has the flexibility. You have to provide the dependency on your test case. Next one, test @test groups and smoke test. So there is a, you have to depend on the group. If your grouping is refers to once you have to segregate your smoke test, sanity test, and the regression test. So in that case we have to segregate our test cases. How many test cases we have to execute in the smoke test, how many test cases we have to execute in the sanity test. That time we are use group method. So here you see first one method is test search and the group is smoke, and second one is again group is smoke but method is test filter. So in the next method I will provide depends on group with the @test annotation and provide the group. How many test case will be, how many methods will be, how many groups will be executed in this method means in the test checkout method. Okay, so next question from the API testing. So first question, how do you automate API testing? Which tool or framework you have used? So simply guys, if you are doing manual task, then you have to answer I'm using Postman, and if you have knowledge about the rest assured, then you have to answer about the rest assured framework. Okay, next question, how do you validate response code, header and JSON payload in the API testing? How do you validate response code, header and JSON payload in the API testing? This is very frequently asked question to check your knowledge. So in this case we are using response. Response is a class. I hope all of you are aware who have already done automation testing with the rest assured. So response is a class and we have create a reference name response. After that we are using method given, and in the given we have to provide the endpoint. After that we have to fetch our response. How we are fetching response? Using the then method. Then status code 200, header, content type, application JSON. Response dot then body name equal to XYZ, John Doe XYZ person is equal to or not. Okay, so see here example I have presented you. Next question, what is the difference between SOAP and REST APIs? So SOAP is a protocol based, while REST is a architectural style based. SOAP use XML, while REST support multiple format like JSON, XML, etc. REST is a faster and more lightweight compared to the SOAP. Okay. Next question from the framework development. If you are aware about the how we have to build the framework. So framework is a set of commands or set of tools. So framework in our Selenium, we have exactly multiple types of framework like data driven framework, keyword driven framework, BDD framework, hybrid framework. So in later video I will discuss about this one. Once we reach on the framework model, then I will definitely discuss about in depth. But right now, to crack interview, we have to go on with this one. So first question, how you built any custom automation framework, or have you built? So if you have already built it, then you have to answer yes. And in which framework you have worked, clearly mention. In case you have built a hybrid framework, then you have to say answer yes. Yes, I have built hybrid framework combining data driven and keyword driven approach, because hybrid is a combination of two frameworks and integrated with the TestNG for test management and extent report for the reporting mechanism. Okay. Next question, what are the common components of good automation framework? Once you are developing any automation framework, then you have to keep in mind it should be modularity in your framework, reusability, scalability, logging and reporting, and it should be integrated with the CI/CD tools. Third question, explain how you implemented reporting in your framework. So reporting, for the reporting mechanism, if you are using TestNG, then you have default feature in the TestNG for the reporting perspective, and it's presented in the HTML. It's built a HTML file, and here we have one more flexibility. We can use extent report to present detailed HTML report, including screenshot of the failed test case and logging or debugging. Next question, how do you integrate your automation framework with CI/CD pipeline? So most of the automation test engineer are not aware about the CI/CD tools. So firstly, I recommend you take a bit knowledge about the CI/CD tools. Okay, so it is really very important for you. But in case you have to answer, I added the automation script to the Git repository and configured Jenkins trigger and test execution Maven commands. In later video, I will also discuss with you basic Git commands and how you have to be integrate with our triggered Jenkins. Okay. So next question from the core Java concept. First question, what is the difference between array list and linked list? So array list is faster for retrieving element, while linked list is used for the faster insertion and deletion. Array list use dynamic array, while linked list use a doubly linked list. Guys, see below, I have just attached a screenshot. So here are some more differences. Memory uses, access time. Okay, so both have multiple differences, and in which case we are using array list, in which case we are using linked list. So this one is also asked by the interviewer. So in that case you have to explain. Once you need fast access by indexing, then we have to use array list, and once we need to perform frequent insertion and deletion, then we have to use linked list. And each implementation has its own strength, guys, and depends on your use case. Next question, explain OOPS concept and how you use them in automation script. So first OOPS concept is encapsulation. Encapsulation means you have to bind data in a single unit. So you have to answer using private locator and public method in the POM. I will use encapsulation. Second one, inheritance. Inheritance means to access the property of one class into another class is called inheritance. So you have to answer creating reusable base class. In next question, I will show you how you have to build this one. Polymorphism. Polymorphism using method overloading and overriding in the utility class. In the utility class, you have to build your wait mechanism and the common use method like send keys, click method. So you have to create a separate class for these commands and use in the another commands, and you have to override this one in the next class. Next one is abstraction. Abstraction means hiding details. In that case, you have to hide complex logic in reusable function. So these are basic in below screenshot. These are the basic OOPS concept, and here I have also highlighted how to use in automation with the example. Okay. Next question: what is the significance of static final and this keyword? So static keyword is a keyword which is once you have to use static keyword, then there is no need to create object every time, means shared across all instances. And if you are using final, it means the class is constant, the variable is constant, it's not immutable. And this keyword is used to refer the current class. Also asked by the interviewer about the super, and super is refer to the your child class. Next question: how do you handle exception in the script? So simple answer: we are using try catch block and custom exception handling. Okay, so this one is an example. We have to use a try catch block. This one is a try started, and after that we have to catch our exception here and print just below it and get what exactly message we are getting once our script going to a fail, or if we are facing any error. Next question from the CI/CD integration: have you used Jenkins or any other CI/CD tools? Guys, if you are aware about the Jenkins, then say yes, else say no. And in the no, then you have to say it's the task is done by the infra team or DevOps team. I'm just uploading my build in the Git or GitHub. After that, Jenkins integration is done by the DevOps engineer. Second question: how do you trigger automated test case in the pipeline? By configuring Jenkins to run test scripts using Maven command, or by writing pipeline script in the Groovy. Not mandate you have to write in the Groovy. You can also use in the Java. So depends on you guys. Third question: how do you handle test failure in the CI pipeline? CI means continuous integration. So in that case, we have to analyze Jenkins console logs, flaky test, and rerun test fail, retry mechanism. So here I have shown you how you have to analyze. You have to just go through this one. So first one, analyze Jenkins console log, error message, test failure, reason of the test failure, environmental issue, and what action you have to require if your test script is going to be a fail. Second one, identify and fix flaky test. Flaky test means the cases which are sometime pass, sometime fails. In that case, you have to maintain your time frame. This is generally happens due to the timing issue, and sometime due to the external dependency, you have not integrated proper dependency, concurrency issue also. But generally it happens due to the timing issue. And for the action you have to fix, you can use explicit wait, dynamic wait to handle this issue. Third one is use testng retry mechanism. And mostly the interviewer asks how you handle to fail test case, how you have to run failed test case. In that case, you have to answer the retry mechanism we can use, in which automatically rerunning failed test case. And in this case, we can use interface iRetry analyzer. Okay, so this one is an example, guys. Okay, so here I have built a class retry analyzer and implemented iRetry analyzer. And here I have provided the logic count is 0, and once it max reach is 3, then test case goes to a fail and it will be retry. Next question from the bug tracking and test management section. So first one, what tool you have used for bug tracking? So guys, it's completely depends on you. If you have any idea about the Jira, then you have to answer about the Jira, and if you are using any other tools, then you have to explain about this tool. So but in the most of the organization, in the most of the corporate sector, generally Jira is used for the logging and tracking defects, as well as TestRail for the managing test cases. Next question, how do you manage test case in tools like TestRail, Zypher or other test management tool? So guys, here you have to explain if you have already used TestRail, Zypher or any other test management tool. Next question from the real world scenario, how do you handle flaky test in the automation? Guys, I have already discussed with you what are the flaky tests. Flaky tests are the test case which are sometime pass, sometime fails, and mostly this happens due to the time issue. In that case, you have to use explicit wait, means dynamic wait, and ensure your environment is stable. Next question, describe a critical defect you identified through automation testing and how you have to resolve it. So you have to answer for this question. During regression automation, identify a critical payment gateway failure due to API timeout. So generally, once you have to work in the QA environment, sometime payment gateway is not processing your request. So in that case, you have to debug the issue and raise concern with the development team and verify after fixing, and provide the exact test cases, why this one is failed, when this one is failed, and what action you have performed. And after fixing, you have to again validate all the test cases with the updated steps. Next question, how do you approach performance testing in your automation workflow? So guys, for the performance testing in market, multiple tools available. So generally most commonly used tool is JMeter. So if you have basic knowledge about the JMeter, then you have to explain about the JMeter. Okay, and how you have to measure the performance. There are multiple mechanisms. Also, you can measure performance over on the Snowflake as well. Next question, how would you automate a testing process for an application that frequently change UI element? How would you automate a testing process for an application that frequently change UI element? So in that case, we are using POM. We are using page object model. Okay, and you can use dynamically change locator once frequently UI is changed. In that case, you have to use a AI driven automation as well as testing and the app light tool. Also, you can use Catalan Studio, in which you have to perform record and play frequently, as well as you can use the Selenium ID to capture the locators frequently and validate is locator changed or not. Next question from the behavioral question. So first question is, describe a time when you had to convince your team to adopt automation testing. So this is a general behavior question. Interviewer wants to check your knowledge, just how much aware you are about the market trends. So in that case, you have to highlight long-term cost saving, faster regression cycle, and better coverage. And I demonstrate a proof of concept of showcase of the effectiveness of automation. So this part is totally depends on your knowledge base and your exposure in the automation. Second question, how do you prioritize tasks when work under tight deadline? In that case, you have to answer, I focus on high risk and critical test cases first. Use exploratory testing or low priority area and leverage automation for repetitive tasks. Third question is, how do you keep yourself updated with the latest trend in the test automation? In that case, guys, you have to answer, I'm regularly gone through the blogs attending webinars, I'm following QA communities and other tools and the other websites from which you have to get the knowledge about the testing trends. So guys, these are all questions which are really asked by the interviewer at the time of interview. So guys, thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to get more updated video. Thank you. Have a nice day.